Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders stalked the snows of New Hampshire as the abominable snowmen, wreaking havoc on a craven establishment. The political earthquake that rumbled the Granite State left the ruling elites of both parties buried in the rubble. It's an appropriate time to reread the speech Pat Buchanan gave in 1999 when he left his lifelong home in the Republican Party to seek the Reform Party nomination for president. It is prophetic. His speech, titled "The New Patriotism," predicted the mood today. Our vaunted two-party system is a snare and a delusion, a fraud upon the nation. Our two parties have become nothing but two wings of the same bird of prey. On foreign and trade policy, open borders and centralized power, our Beltway parties have become identical twins. Both supported NAFTA and GATT in the surrender of our national sovereignty to the WTO. When Donald, Ted and Bernie blast Obama trade, the latest free trade scam pushed by the Beltway elites, they summon Pat Buchanan's words from 2 decades ago. Because of NAFTA and GATT, America's industrial base has been hollowed out. Our manufacturing workers, who support families on a single wage, have been forced to compete with sweatshop labor abroad, and our country has been left dependent on imports for the vital necessities of national life. He blasted both parties for their China policy. Both vote for MFN trade privileges for a communist Chinese regime that today targets missiles on American cities. The appeasement of Beijing is a bipartisan disgrace, and we will not be a part of it. Pat nailed it when he said, "Neither party speaks for the forgotten Americans whose jobs were sent overseas. Both parties are addicted to soft money. Both write laws with lobbyists looking over their shoulders." Today, "Make America Great Again" echoes Buchanan from the previous generation vowing to make America a self-reliant nation again. Voters are responding to his call to arms from 20 years ago. This year is our last chance to save our republic, before she disappears into the godless new world order that our elites are constructing in a betrayal of everything for which our founding fathers lived, fought and died. Buchanan said, "It is time for a new patriotism, where America's sovereignty is wholly and fully restored." Blasting the globalist elite that has presided over the deindustrialization of America, Pat thundered, "And to those who prattle on about our duties to the global economy, let me say it again, I'm not running for president of the world, I'm running for president of the United States." When Trump demands an immigration policy that puts Americans first, he is channeling Buchanan, who declared, "We need a timeout on legal immigration, to ease the downward pressure on workers' wages and to defeat the forces of separatism that threaten us and nations all over the world." The communications architect of the Nixon and Reagan administrations warned of European nations surrendering their identities and their independence to a superstate that pays homage to the god of Mammon. Shall we, too, yield to their temptation, follow their path, and suffer their fate? At another time, Buchanan once asked what conservatives were trying to conserve. He sums it up eloquently in his 1999 address and describes the conservatism Trump embodies: the old patriotism, a popular culture that undergirded the values of faith, family, and country. The idea that we Americans are a people who sacrifice and suffer together, and go forward together, the mutual respect, the sense of limits, the good manners. Well, maybe not so much the good manners. As the establishment elites claw their way from the rubble of New Hampshire and gaze upon the battlefields before them in South Carolina and beyond, Pat's promise will be in the wind tormenting them. Let me say to the money boys and the Beltway elites who think that, at long last, they have pulled up their drawbridge and locked us out forever, you don't know this peasant army. We have not yet begun to fight. Donald Trump couldn't have said it